Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play, and I hope you'll feel comfortable sharing what you're stitching and being part of our stitching community. You are so welcome to do so. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here and chatting stitching with me on a regular basis. I really do appreciate the opportunity to just share all things stitching. It is just so much fun and I love it, so thank you. Today is actually Saturday morning, which is not my usual filming day. I usually film Fridays if you're new, but I was a little bit under the weather yesterday. I'll talk about that later. And so many of you, I put a message in my community tab as well as on my Facebook page. And so many of you sent me some well wishes. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. Excuse me. And I'm feeling immensely better today. And I've just been drinking lots of liquids to try to, feel the best I can. So I figured I'd give it a try and hopefully we can work through this. I have a stitching finish, a trading card full finish, and a scrapbook page full finish, as well as a new start. So lots of good stuff, as well as what's in my regular project stuff that I do. But before I get started with that, I did want to say, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I've mentioned a group called Whip Warriors, which is on Facebook, and it is, for me, it's a group that has challenges in order for me to just stitch all the different things I want to stitch. It was originally called No New Starts, if you remember a few years back, and they've since kind of changed things a little bit. And they don't open it up to new members until the end of November, and as of this morning, the 18th, it is open for you to go check it out. I believe sometime around the end of the year, they will close it up then, and then it will not open again until the end of next November. Near that. So you get a chance to check it out, see if you are interested in it. They do have I want to say it's a 5 or 6 page document that just lays out everything, expectations, the different paths of stitching you can take, the different things available, timelines, the whole bit. And then in the month of December, you get a chance to try out some of the different stitching games and this and that to see if it's something for you. I really enjoyed it last year, so I definitely want to try to do it again this year. If you were wondering, I am, you're probably not going to be surprised with this, the stitch what you want when you want, the Sweewee route. So that is the path I take in the group. And I love it because I really do love being able to just stitch whatever tickles my fancy on any given day. I would suggest you read through everything. It is a participation kind of required group. So if you have any hesitations, maybe try it in December, see if it's something that really is something that would be of interest to you. And then of course, if it's not, no worries. But you will of course hear me talking about some of the different groups and plans or games, I should say, in the course of the year as I'm doing them. And that's really the only kind of challenge group I'm part of on Facebook for the most part. I mean, there's a few others that I do different challenges in, so they will come up here and there. But by far, this is the one where most of my focus is when it comes to challenges and plans and things like that. So that's what I'll talk about the most. But I was super excited to see that it is open. So if you wanted to check it out after you've heard me talk about it all year, go for it. Alrighty, so let's just talk stitching now. I have a whole bunch of projects I want to show you, and let's start with my stitching finish. Probably not a surprise because I was close to the end, and this is part of the Season's Blessings set from Leela Studio, Fall and Winter, and I did the Fall Blessings. I cannot wait to stitch winter. I don't know if I'm going to stitch it in December of this year or if I'll wait to January. That one's up in the air because I could see doing it either one. I do like how it's in kind of that pinkish fabric background, so I might kind of go that route as well. But this is the one we're focused on, and I really did like that background fabric. So when I was looking at my fabrics, I kept that in mind as something that really intrigued me. Now, I've already cut this off the regular fabric, and you can see I kind of didn't pay attention there at the end. Whoop. But that's what it looks like. So this is an 18 count driftwood tan from To Die For Fabrics. And I love it. I really like the colors. It's a little bit lighter than the one that the model was stitched on, but I like it. Now, I did make one change. If you see here, the bird is holding the star from its mouth, and this, in the whole series, they're like that. The cardinal is actually holding berries, and the summer one that I've stitched, which I'm looking at, is still hanging up, has a strawberry. But I get the berries, the winter berries and the strawberry, but the kind of the holding the star, I wasn't necessarily all in on that. So I said, I'll stitch the star, but I'm not gonna draw the back stitch lines in order to show him holding it. So that is, I believe, the only change. I did keep all of the DMC colors that were called for. I didn't change any of them out. I thought they looked good on this fabric. So this one will be finished as kind of like an ornament. I did the same thing with summer, and I probably will finish it the same exact way. I did use felt as a backing, as a flat kind of ornament, and so I need to see what I have for felt, and I might have to buy some before I can fully finish it. If it does get finished anytime soon, I'll probably put it out, and at this point, maybe put summer away. But I still have some of my summer stuff. Why not? Hanging up. So super excited to have that one done. These are, if you are intrigued by them, they are lovely stitches. They're not too intensive. The charts are big and easy to read, and I really enjoy stitching these. Speaking of Lila Studio, if you do not follow the Instagram page of Lila Studio, I would suggest you do. A complete picture of the new fall Quaker has been, Autumn Quaker, I think it's called Autumn Quaker, has been released, and I believe it's shipping to stores next week. So I already have spring and summer going. You know, I'm going to have to pick up autumn. I won't start until 2024 at this point, but it most definitely will be part of my 2024 plans. So if you want to stitch it as well, let's do it. Okay. Now, this one I haven't shown you in quite some time. Well, I started a few months ago, so I guess I can't say quite some time, but this is called Good Tidings, and it's from Jeanette Douglas Designs. It's shown in a few different finishes there. You can see 3 different ways it was fully finished. It's the same pattern. One of my favorite parts is actually this little flower right here, and I could totally see stitching that for a trading card one day. But I am currently stitching the full piece as is. I don't know if it's going to be too big for a kind of a long horizontal ornament. If so, then it might be scrapbooked. I'm not really sure. One or the other. And let me show you what I have. Oh, it's not going to this is a green. I'm not sure if it's going to really show you. It's a really lovely mint. This is an 18 count unknown fabric. It was in my fabric stash, so I'm not really sure what it is, but I really like it for using the deeper greens. I have, let me see if I can, if it's right in front of me. Nope, I was going to say in my to-do list here. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. I bought this recently, and I'm thinking that these would be really lovely on this fabric because I really like doing kind of a lighter version, and those darker colors would look fantastic on it, I think. So I think I am going to cut this at some point. This is actually, that's how big it is. That's the bottom. So I still have plenty to do those, I think, those other 2 on here. I can't remember what I stitched on it already because there's already something cut off of it. But that's where I am right there. I'm not changing. Am I changing any of the colors? As far as I can tell, so far not. I've got quite a bit of work to do. The border is got 2 different greens plus some red. So I'm kind of doing some of that and then going in towards the center and doing some of that from there. Let's see, Christmas, and then, yeah, this probably will go all the way over here. So it might be too big for an ornament. I do have one longer horizontal ornament I'm looking at on my crafty tree, which is up, but I'm not really sure if this one might be, that one's bigger, or that one's not as big. This one might be too big. but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's cute, and those individual pieces would look great. It does say Christmas 2022 on it. I'm not sure I'll put the date, and I don't think it necessarily needs it, to be honest with you. It's just an extra little piece there. I think if I just put all of the little, there's 5 little elements here, if they're all there, I think it'll be just fine. I'm not sure this will get finished for this year, but that's fine. I mean, I could. It's small, as you can see, but I don't put that pressure on myself because I don't really care if it goes out this year, next year. If it's scrapbook, then it's there for the memories. I think if I were to scrapbook it, I probably would scrapbook it with pictures. And this is where I could see putting a date, because I could see if I wanted to put the date somewhere and then have pictures, say, from this year or something. So we'll see. I'm not really sure what the end game is on that one. Alrighty. Now I've got to show you pictures from my digital here. This has been my piece that I've focused on for the month of November. I'm giving it about anywhere between a couple strands to 30 minutes to whatever a day. It kind of depends on what I feel. This is called McChristmas, and it is from Cariad Cross Stitch Designs. They are on Facebook, and if you search them that way, they come up. In order to buy their patterns, you basically message them and say, I want McChristmas or XYZ, whatever it is, and then they send you an invoice, and then they'll send you the piece. They have hundreds and hundreds of patterns in their Facebook albums and all sorts of styles and everything else. So if you're interested, I would check them out. So this is what it looks like, or will in the end, and I am stuck in all of the grays. So I did work on this. Well, I didn't yesterday because everything was ironed. I thought I was going to film yesterday. I was all set to go. The pile was ready. And then I couldn't do it. But so this did not get any work yesterday because everything was nice and neat. So I wasn't going to undo anything. But that's where we are so far. And as you can see, it's just going to be some never-ending gray for quite some time. And then there's not as much down here on the bottom. So, but at a couple strands a day, what I've been doing is finding a symbol. Sometimes it's here in the middle, and just kind of going with it for a couple strands and seeing what I can do. Sometimes that means a full strand, sometimes not so much. So it's going slowly, but it's going. I mean, it's better than sitting in my pile of projects just not getting any work. This is an 18 count Lotus from Stitch Me. So yes, it is a very pale purple, and I absolutely love it. I did an ornament, which was mostly greens. I don't know if you remember it from last year, and I did it on I don't know if it was this Lotus or if it was a different light purple. And I really do like doing Christmas on the very pale purples. It's fun. And especially with some of the deeper greens, that color looks great on something like a light purple. So McChristmas will get some more time. As of tomorrow, I've got family coming in and then some more during the week, so that by Tuesday night, we'll have a pretty full house. I don't know how much stitching I'll get done. These daily stitches may not be worth getting out just for a strand or two versus me just kind of focusing on something for the day or the morning and then something else for the afternoon. So I have no idea how it's going to play out. It is supposed to rain possibly Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure. So if we can't do anything, that means I'll probably be in a lot more, and that might give me a chance. Like if say we're watching something as a family or doing something, I can also be stitching potentially. So we'll see. I'm not sure exactly how next week's going to play out. We'll just play it by ear. Alrighty. Now this one, I have it printed off the cover of the magazine in black and white. I don't have a color printer, and I debated on going online to try to find a piece, but I figured you can tell easy enough. So this is from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and it is the 2023 fall issue. And I saw this and I loved it. However, I decided that it's beautiful. It's charted by Crocetta Go-Go. You know how much I love Crocetta Go-Go. And it's so fun with the different elements of, acorns and the words say be thankful and just all the leaves. But I really just wanted the turkey. Now, there's not going to be a lot here. You're not even going to really tell it's a turkey yet. But all I am going to stitch is the turkey. I don't know. Yeah, I don't believe I'll stitch anything along by his feet either. I think it's just going to be the turkey. But that's what the full piece looks like if you're interested. I don't have a lot. That's it. Now this is an 18 count. I want to say it's oatmeal. I was very nicely sent a nice long piece of this fabric from one of you stitchy friends, and it's funny when I choose fabrics for my pieces. Sometimes, like Leela's Studio, I take into account what the model looks like and say, yes, I really like that. And then there's other times I want to change things up, very often when things are on neutrals. But there are times when I really like them on the neutrals. And I was flipping through my fabrics and I saw this oatmeal and I said, this is exactly what I want for my turkey. I don't know what my rhyme or reason is. My biggest problem though, and what took me forever to start, was did I want kind of the lines going this way or this way? And I kept turning it back and forth. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And I finally just said, you're making a decision and you're going this direction. Now, I'm having a little trouble seeing this pattern. So I get the digital version and then I print the pattern off, making my working copy, and I go from there. And so when I pulled this out, I didn't think anything of it because I generally don't have problems with my working copies from Punch Needle. But it was very hard to see what the symbols were. It was blurry, actually, to be honest with you. So I said, well, what I'll do is I'll open up the online version, kind of make some notes on my written version, and away I go. Well, I found that the online version was actually very difficult to read as well. I don't know if it was because the boxes were kind of filled in and then you had the symbol. Even making it as, I tried it at regular size and I tried blowing it up and so on and so forth. And I was able to figure out what all the colors were and I wrote notes on my working copy. But for whatever reason, I had a heck of a time figuring out all of the colors. So between the fabric choices and the seeing what the colors were and doing all my notes, all I have is the hat, part of the hat, and part of the little bird on top of the hat. That's it. And then I started it kind of low, and then I got nervous thinking, will I have enough to do? I'd finish this as an ornament. I only have for Thanksgiving, I have the November country cottage that I would have showed you recently. And then I've kept out my pumpkin that I have over October. And then I have a prairie schooler pumpkin. I'll have to show it. Maybe next week I'll show it around Thanksgiving. And that's like a leaner. So I don't really have a lot for Thanksgiving. So I thought I'd make this as an ornament. I have another finish that would be considered an ornament. And I'd keep my eye out for other things. So I got a little nervous and I counted about 3 times and I'm fine. It will be fine. But you know how that goes. When you think I have it cut properly, but then did I give myself too much space up there? That's it. I think it'd be fun to work on this week, given that we are in Thanksgiving week here in the US. I would like to work on my my turkey, Cottage Garden Samplings turkey as well. So hopefully maybe I'll get some of that as well as this little one done as well. So we'll see. All right, I wanted to show you, you had seen me stitch this piece trading card wise, and then I didn't fully finish it. I wasn't sure. We had our recent swap, so it was part of the fall theme, and I wasn't 100% sure if I needed to hold one back because of maybe the post office lost somebody's, maybe it would come later, and I didn't want them to miss out. So I definitely kept at least this one back, and of course, if there had been more, I would have stitched more. I want to say this was part of, it was either Dove Stitch or Erin Elizabeth. I'm not 100% sure. I did make this grass border. I think I took it from another part of the pattern and I extended it so it looks like a layer of grass. And then this pumpkin itself is a die cut pumpkin that was glued onto the fabric. I have some pattern paper and then some cardstock, along with a couple of copper colored brads. So this one will just stay until the next time I have a trading card swap that this happens to fit the theme. I'm not sure, you know, I'm not necessarily going to say, well, we'll have autumn next year like we did this year. We're going to have, hint, hint, there's going to be a winter one coming up. you know, I'm doing some of these right now theme-wise that might be a little bit easier, but then I want to kind of jump into other themes as well. And that might fit into something else along the way. Yes, it can be seasonal, but it can also fit in other things. So that will just go in my slip where I have all the ones I've received. I use baseball card holders for them, and the next time it works, then it's ready to go for a swap. All right, I know there are a bunch of you that are going to be happy I pulled out Cinnamon Stars from Plum Street Samplers. This was started, I looked in my book because I needed to see what fabric I was stitching this on. I knew it was Fabrics by Stephanie, but I got the name wrong, so I'm glad I checked. This was started in May, excuse me, of 2021. Yes, it is that old. I recently saw, I don't know, I follow Erin 2 Martini Stitcher on Instagram, and she recently posted a finish of this, but she didn't stitch the bottom. She stitched the house and the swirls, added a few extra swirls, and it was really kind of cute. So if you wanted just the house and kind of that visual up top, that is an idea. I really do like the flowers and the scarecrow and the corn. I just don't like the color chosen for the pumpkins. And so this has sat and sat and sat because I just have to make some decisions. There's a few that are multiple colors, and I just really just don't care for them. And then the alternatives, for example, one is 437. Well, DMC 437 is this color. I mean, I really don't want a brown pumpkin. Kind of reminds me of Prairie Schooler when it comes to that with the brown pumpkins. So I have a feeling what I might do is stitch everything around this and then either change it or really just buckle down and figure out colors for the pumpkins. So let me show you where I am. This got almost 500 stitches this week. You're going to say, I don't see it, Laura, from the last time, but it did. What I finished was this part of the house with the wall. I had some of the kind of rocks to stitch and then the entire fill-in of that color. And then I did fill in the centers of some of the other elements. But this house it's not huge, but it is no joke with how much stitching it can be. So this is an 18 count Honey Amber by Fabrics by Stephanie. It is the same exact fabric I used for Betsy's Autumn, which is in the scrapbook. And when this one gets finished, it will go on the other side as a 2-page spread because I kind of consider them as sister pieces. I know they're not technically, but I like the idea of both of them as being kind of related. So what I will do next, I was intrigued about the scarecrow down on this side and kind of the corn stalks there. So even though I joke that I'm kind of skipping this section, I do see myself, I would like to extend the fence though, just so I have that. I want to say that goes, yeah, that goes all the way. Now in the piece itself, it's a variegated, and a lot of it is a lot lighter than the DMC choice, but I actually like the DMC choice because I kind of wanted it darker. Not darker, but darker than what's shown in the picture. So yeah, maybe that's what I might do is extend this and then work my way down here and slowly work my way back here. I did not fill in the holes around the windows of the, do you see on the windows in the house? They're not filled in, even though they're charted to be. I didn't fill them in on Betsy's Autumn. I kind of liked, because this is a kind of a pale yellow, it almost looks like the lights are on in the house. So I might very well leave that as it is as well. I think, oh no, I do have one more. I have one more of these little star sort of elements here. I have to fill in this, and then all these little guys, I think I have the circles to fill in, just the one stitch. So most of that is done. There is, you know how sometimes you just stitch and you really don't pay attention to what you're stitching? If you can see there's the letter S, and that was to be personalized for your last name. Well, I stitched the letter S. Not, because I wasn't even paying attention that it was a letter. I was at that part of the pattern and I just stitched. Yes, that immediately got pulled out. I don't necessarily know if I'll put another letter in. I might just do another one of those little stars, or I may leave it. It actually looks fine like that. And I don't think anybody looking at it would actually realize and say, oh, there's supposed to be something there. I think overall, especially once it's in a 2-page spread with Betsy's Autumn, I think it'll look fine. Alrighty, now I pulled out, where is it? I pulled out a new full coverage piece to work on this week. And then a couple days ago, I pulled out a second one. I'm not showing you that though, because I only had gotten about 100 stitches in when I had pulled it out. Oh, I just put this on my book. So you'll actually probably see 2 next week. Who am I? You know I like full coverage, but I usually don't invest that much time in it. But this week I had chosen, I wanted the bright colors, and I remember this one, it's got confetti, but it's not drive you mad confetti. It makes sense in some ways, and it kind of follows a flow. So I said, well, I'm going to pull this one out, and I love the bright colors. So this is charted by Stitches So Beautiful, and the artist is Laszlo Kode, and it's actually just called Laszlo Kode #1. I believe there are 6 in the series from this artist that have been charted by Stitches So Beautiful, and they all have just bright, vibrant colors and different kind of sort of matching themes. I only have this one. I'm not sure I would stitch any more. I mean, by the time this one gets done, I mean, so not a huge amount, but I actually am quite proud of the progress I made in the course of, obviously, again, I wouldn't have stitched this yesterday, and I might have, I don't remember when I picked it up. So my goal usually is about 100-ish stitches a day. Sometimes it's slightly less. Sometimes it's 150 if I'm really on a roll. And I did get that, except for yesterday on this piece. And so I'm thrilled. None of this was done last time around. There's 2 different colors involved here, and I was able to kind of bring that down. I filled in all of that. None of that was there. There was confetti here. There's some here now, but this is all filled in, and then I've started to fill in with the tree. This is done on an 18 count white Aida, 2 strands over 1 full cross. As of right now, that's the only way I do full coverage. I did get a piece of 20 count that I'm intrigued to try. I do like the full cross idea. So I don't know if I would do it with 1 strand though, given that it's 20 count. I guess it depends on how much confetti there might be as well. But I have enjoyed stitching this one this week, so it definitely will get, I do try to give them about 10 days / 1,000 stitches when I pull them out. The last couple of times I've pulled a piece out, I have to say that I have been, I've just been a little, oh, I don't know what I did here. I don't know if there's a way to cancel. Oh, there we go. I'd accidentally made a screenshot. I don't know how I did that. The last few that I had pulled out, I just wasn't feeling. I got into them, got a few 100 stitches in, and they just weren't talking to me the way I wanted them to. So I put them away, because if I'm not going to enjoy them at the time that I pull them out, let's try something else. I probably have about 14, 15 full coverages. A couple of them are smaller, and then we have some huge, mostly they're bigger. So I have plenty to choose from. I'm sure there'll be others that I'll want to start as we probably, I don't know, through the end of this year, unless there's absolutely something that completely catches my eye. I know that Stitches So Beautiful has been putting new artists and new works out, and some of them are gorgeous. There is a stained glass lighthouse that I fear there's quite a bit of confetti, but it's beautiful. And then I want to say it might be Cross Stitch for Everyone has put out some really cool ones lately. And I want to say they might have a stained glass, I don't know if I can find it, a stained glass, I don't know if it was Santa and snowman or just a snowman. Let me see if I put it in my favorites. Oh no, it's a stained glass Santa and reindeer. Let me show you. And I'm really tempted. Doesn't this look so much fun? So that was recently just put in my favorites from Etsy. Because, you know, again, I don't have enough full coverages. But anyway, whether there's another start, I'm not really sure. I'm really feeling those stained glass looks lately, and there are quite a few coming out, so I'm intrigued, including with Stitches So Beautiful. She has several out there as well. All right, this is part of my once every 3-week rotation. I rotate Spring Quaker, Summer Quaker, and Black Vintage Sampler. This was my New Year, New Start last year. It will not be done by the end of this year, but that's okay. I'm not sure I ever really thought it would be. I think that would have been a really lofty goal. And it's only recently that it's been in a very regular rotation for me. It was every other week with Summer Quaker, but I found every other week was a little bit too much, and poor Spring Quaker, which I love stitching, was kind of getting neglected. I am liking the every 3. I will have, as long as I have fabric for it, a New Year, New Start in January, so that might get rotated, and they might be once every 4 weeks. I'm not sure. And then, of course, there's Autumn Quaker coming out and everything else. Too many fun things. But anyway, this worked out well. This month's category letter is B, and so I used this for design title, I believe. No, this is for, yeah, because it's called Black Vintage Sampler. So let me fold you over. Now, I did make a mistake, though. When you do games for Whip Warriors, you have to take a picture before you start and then take a picture at the end, and, you know, that shows your progress. I'm not sure, the picture that I have, I'm not sure if it's the correct one. So I did a good 350 stitches and then realized I didn't do a picture right before I had stitched those. So I did take one then and there, and as you can see, I did some more stitching. It's almost too much to hold. That's it. That's the bottom. So if I come back, that's as long as it's going to be. And I really haven't been focusing. I mean, on the top, the only thing I have left is this side's border. So it's really been more on the bottom. And what I think I will do is probably continue to stitch this. I did flip it over. Great. Thank you for all of you who stated the obvious, that if I just flip it completely over, the stitches are the same direction. And it's just, you know, it's easier to corral the fabric. So I did some of that. I want to say I did some more over here on the floral. And then I definitely, recently on Thursday, I was working. I didn't quite get, I ran out of time, but I didn't quite get the mermaid done. She's got a little bit more stitching there. So even though this one is not slated, oh, let me say fabric. You know, I missed one day and you think I've missed a month. 18 count rainy day from Be Stitch Me. I absolutely love it. And it is being completely stitched with Anchor Black. No other colors. I really love having one monochromatic at least in my rotation. Sometimes I just want to pull out something where I don't have to switch colors, and it's just so nice. So because I didn't get a lot done on this, I may do some more. I right now only have 3 categories of categories figured out. One is finished. One was the animal, which was a bird, which you're going to see. And then I have Black Vintage Sampler. And then I have one more piece, which was pattern title, which you'll see at the end. So unless I can come up with some more, you'd think B wouldn't be that hard, but it's harder than I think it is. I don't think I have anything beach related. Beach, because I think that's one of the, is there anything on Black Vintage that would be related to the beach? Well, there are fish, and there's fish in the ocean, which is at the beach. So I might be able to make that work. But you will see it. Oh, I should put the title page in with it. You will see this probably again before the end of the month, because I would like to get a little bit more work than what's done on it for categories. All right, we're going to take, speaking of the beach, we're going to take a little detour into one of my scrapbook pages. I had stitched this piece quite some time ago, and I wanted to show, this is probably as easy as a scrapbook finish as you can get. It's the stitched piece and one piece of pattern paper. And this is going to go in my 9x7 scrapbook. I stitched this piece ages ago, and it sat in the drawer, and then I finally pulled a bunch of things out, put some interfacing on the back of them. So this way, if I felt the urge to scrapbook, I could. So I wanted something beachy, and I was looking at, I don't have a ton of pattern papers. It kind of kills me because when I moved from Connecticut, I was much heavier into paper crafting because I still had my Etsy shop until I moved. I had so much cardstock and so much pattern paper, and I just couldn't bring it all down here. I just had no space for it. And I gave most of it away, to be honest with you. I know the 4-H Club got quite a bit, and then just some other individuals, I think, on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace, just so that I don't know if someone was a teacher, I don't remember, but I was able to give away quite a bit. And now I'm thinking about all those pattern papers that I gave away that I should have kept for my for my scrapbooking. And so I don't have a lot of pattern papers, but one of the ones that I had picked up And this is, it's from a company called Lawn Fawn. If you're not, if you're unfamiliar with them, they have stamps and papers and inks and all of that kind of stuff. And this one is called Watercolor Wishes. I want to show you the paper. So isn't this cool? This is what it looks like completely. And I just thought, so basically what I did, see, that's the other half of it. And that's the, well, technically, this is the way it is. But I decided I wanted the lighter blue as kind of the sky. And then you can't see a lot here, but I'm okay with that. Then you have the dark, you know, kind of that tealy blue. And then this is the last bit of that bottom piece, which I think this would be a lot of fun as backing for trading cards. I stitched a lighthouse from Summer Tiny Town. I don't know if it's called Summer Tiny Town. You know which one I'm talking about. And I think this would be kind of cool. I might even go this way with it, potentially, as a background for that piece on a trading card. And on this is a double-sided, so you can see here, if you were interested in dots, polka dots kind of look, that's what's on the other side. But that's all I did. I interfaced the stitching. I attached it with some double-sided tape to the paper that I had cut down to the size I needed for the page protectors in my scrapbook, and boom, it's done. And then I have leftovers for some other things that I would want to do. You know, I like stitching beach stuff, so there's no reason to think that I wouldn't have other things that might work for. So super excited. That one got done. I'm hoping maybe to get some more done before one of my Flossmas videos in December, where we will do flip throughs of the scrapbooks. Okay, speaking of monochromatic, one of my favorites, I have enjoyed stitching this series quite a bit. This is also called Autumn Quaker, but this one's from Jardin Privé, and it is part of a 4-part series that stitches one for each season. If you are new, I've stitched the other 3. All of them are being stitched with DMC 823, and then I have chosen a background fabric that kind of matches the season in my mind. So this one is, it's peachy because I think of fall with the different oranges and reds. The peach kind of goes. I wanted something kind of bright because the pink is fairly bright. The yellow and the blue for the other seasons are also. So I didn't want something too pale. And I thought this one kind of fit the bill nicely. And that's where I am. I'm almost done with the alphabet. I think I just have XYZ left. And then I started this element right here, finished this, and I'm not sure I'd be considered halfway, but we are chugging along. And again, when I really just want something monochromatic, this one's great. So this might get some more work this week because, you know, if I'm sitting with family or whatever, something like this might be, I can do it, but I don't have to necessarily deal with all of the changes of color of threads and this, that, and the other. I have debated long and hard about whether or not I'm going to stitch. Obviously, I wouldn't stitch 2022. I would like to get this done in 2023, but I don't know. I don't know because I still do have half of it to go, at least, maybe a smidge more than half. And, you know, I mean, from this point to the end of the year, it just gets so busy. There's just so much going on that I don't know what my stitching is going to be like. I am attending the Jingle Ball the first weekend of December, so I'm hoping to get some stitching done there. And, you know, just different times, this and that. I'm not sure what's happening. I think we're doing some traveling for Christmas. I'm not really sure about all of that at the moment. So that's all up in the air, and that also means I don't know what the stitching would be. And that reminds me, thank you to all who either sent me emails or put comments or whatever about different stitching lights for traveling, for hotel rooms, even just ones to do some more light here, depending on if it's nighttime. I really appreciated all of your feedback. I have read them all, and now I'm going to go back and read them all again, write them all down, and then do some research to see what works the best for me. So thank you very much for that. You all are the best with giving information when we need some info. Alrighty, back to my pictures because this one is a digital. This was the start for October for my pumpkin birthday stitch along, my Sal. Anything with a pumpkin, and as you can see, there's multiple pumpkins here, and there's pumpkin color and everything else, and it's a funny light today. It's actually quite cloudy, but I don't know, especially this pumpkin here, it's not showing up very well. There you go. This is called Autumn Still Life, and it is from Owl Forest Embroidery. And I didn't necessarily, I forget necessarily, I did not have a specific birthday start, but this one was close to it. I kind of thought of it as around a start for my birthday. I don't have a lot. Really not a lot at all, but that's okay. It's funny because when I looked at this one originally, it didn't register necessarily that, and obviously the model is stitched with the Owl Forest threads. I did not buy them for this. I decided to go with the DMCs, and I'm fine with that. But what I didn't realize is there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's something only like 7 or 8 colors in this. So it's really going to be, if I were to sit down with it, I think it would be a fairly faster stitch, especially because the colors are in blocks before you change. You know, there'll be a section, this will all be one color, that will be all one color, so on and so forth. Well, there's the branch and then those kind of berries. And it is on the browner side, which doesn't always go with my vibe, but this time around, as I started stitching it and kind of realized the color scheme, I kind of like it. It's a little different than a lot of things I do, so I'm kind of good with it. This is 18 count, and it's Ocean Air from Fox and Rabbit. 18 count Ada. So that's what I've got. That's what it looks like. And I've got so much to do. This is a fun piece too, because if I wanted to pick different pieces out of it, I think that centerpiece would be quite beautiful just to stitch on its own as well. I think that would be lovely. But if I was looking for things for trading cards and things like that, there are definitely options there. So, you know, thinking about what may or may not come out to be stitched over the next, we have 6 more weeks of the year. I'm not necessarily sure. You know how I kind of just play it by ear. This may or may not see some time. We'll see. This one I'm really enjoying. I did this one for Scattergories, and I've done a before picture, and I think I'm ready to do an after picture because I have other categories for Scattergories to do. This is called Harvest Star Tea, and it is So Much to Love is the Etsy shop, and I want to say the artwork is Michelle Palmer. And there's a series of 5 on So Much to Love if you're interested in them. And it doesn't do it justice here, but the shading in the bird is just amazing. It just looks, in my mind, so lifelike. There's just so many different, slightly different shades, but it's been a quick and easy, lovely stitch. I have one more of these, but that's it. I don't know if I'll stitch all 5, not necessarily, but if you were intrigued, I would suggest you go to So Much to Love on Etsy and check them out because they really are lovely stitches and quite realistic in my mind. I've enjoyed seeing that bird come to life. So the bird itself is completely done, and now I'm just working on all of the other elements of this is the stem, when you'll have the pumpkin in the cup, and then a star for Harvest Star Tea. This is also 18 count Ocean Air from Fox and Rabbit. This is part of the, well, remember how I had cut, I had gotten the blood stain on a piece of it, so it kind of smudged when I tried to get that out, to be honest with you. So I kind of cut that part out and I just used it, small pieces with it. And then I had to order another piece because I really wanted that fabric for Autumn Still Life. So now I've got a bunch of small little pieces. So they might be good for trading cards and for small things like this. Maybe the other one I stitch of this, let me see. This is the other one that I bought. This was Flow Blue and Wheat Tea. That would probably look really nice on this. I don't know if 100% if they're the same size. I didn't look that closely. But this was stitched for Bird, the prompt for animal in Scattergories. So I do have to take a picture of this finished part and upload that so I can call that part of the prompt done. All right, I have one more. And this one was also stitched as part of Scattergories. One of the categories is color, well, blue. I could have done Blue Dreams or Black Vintage Sampler. They both have title name and a color starting with B. So I ended up doing Black Vintage for the pattern title, and I went with blue for the color. There are so many shades of blue, it's perfect. This is from Barbara Anna and is called Blue Dreams. My fabric's a little bit brighter than the model, but I love it. And it kind of matches Sailing Dreams. It's not the same fabric, but it matches close enough that I've stitched from Barbara Anna, and they'll go side by side on the scrapbook, I think. I think that would be kind of cool. Now this one will be the other orientation because it is, the width goes this way. I still have, oh, actually I'm almost done widthwise. There's a tiny little bit that comes out here with the sail of the boat. But for the most part, that's what the size is. And this is as high and low as it's going to go. So you're getting a sense of that. There's just a lot here. It's essentially full coverage. And there's a whole bunch of blues. This is an 18 count tropical by Fabrics by Stephanie. Look at this beautiful fabric. It is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Every year around my birthday, I do treat myself to a few different colors. Well, I always have to get some more Nantucket Sky because that is one of my all-time favorites from Stephanie. And I don't know if I got any Friendship Green. If I might have had enough. And then I kind of treat myself to another couple colors. And so I have an order currently out with Stephanie. I think I ordered at the beginning of October. One of the colors I wanted is potentially for Fish and Chips, which is for January 1. So fingers crossed that she's usually about 6-7 weeks. So I'm hoping that I ordered in enough time. So that will be a potential option. I haven't made a decision on that yet. But anyway, this is where I am. And I'm at the point where now just lots of fill-in. There is a page break here. So that does get a little dicey on that. And I was stitching this while I was Zooming with a friend. And so, you know, you got to be careful sometimes because next thing you know, you're talking and you've just completely missed where one color ended and another one started. So, but that's what it looks like. I got almost 500 stitches on this while I was Zooming. So thank you, Amy. I got good progress. That's probably the ending point for the categories prompt though. So this one may go away at this point and I'll see what else I can do. So that was the stitching for this week. Now this video, besides the stitching, does not have a ton more. I know, surprising, surprising. So this one may come in an hour. So that gives you a chance if you are busy getting yourself ready for, if you're in the US, obviously, for the upcoming holiday, then, you know, you've got time to skip along to somebody else. So plans, I'm going to continue categories. I do want to stitch some more in Black Vintage Sampler, Blue Dreams and Harvest Star Tea. I'm going to take pictures of their finish at this point, upload that, and they're done that category. And then I'll look at some of the other categories, see what I can do. I do have another kind of, I thought, let's see if I can show you. I had another kind of Thanksgiving-ish, grateful, gratitude sort of start that I was thinking about. And it's Thankful Quaker by Bent Creek. I really enjoy this. I'm not a fan. I pulled the called for colors and for the flosses, and it didn't jump out at me. So I do have to do some color conversions. So I'm not sure this will happen this month. I might wait. And, you know, I started the Grateful Quaker from the Heart, Needle Art by Wendy. And that one I had to do a full, almost except for one floss, a full color change. So I'm not sure I'm in that kind of mental space to do another one. So that one might get put aside at this point. I did get the Christmas Ornaments Just Cross Stitch 2023 issue. And there's some really fun ones in here. And so I thought about starting one of those. I'm going to show you a picture. I took a picture of it and then I'll show you the fabric I was thinking about. This is called, it's called the Decorating Owl. And I just love it. It's so pretty. It's charted, design is by Jessie Schofield. And instead of black, I was thinking this kind of navy-ish blue. This is the fabric I'm using for Stitching with the Housewives, Long May She Wave. I still have some of it. So I'm not sure if this is actually called navy blue or what it is. I'll have to look to see if I have the info. But I think that would be a lot of fun. I would like to stitch this as an ornament. It's 44 by 44. So that's a thought, actually, of starting that. Whether it's the end of this month or December, I'm not 100% sure. I also need to look for fabric and floss for whichever Rosewood Manor piece I start for Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher's birthday stitch along. because in the month of December, she's inviting everybody to help celebrate her birthday by stitching a Rosewood Manor piece. So if you are interested and want to do that, I'm going to put Beth's Flosstube. I'll link it down below and you can see. Alrighty, so I know this is a definite. I did see, there was another one. Let me see. Oh, this one I didn't take a picture of, so I've got a cover. You're only going to see a teeny tiny. The pictures in this magazine are crazy how small they are, which is why I wanted to take a picture of that other one. This one here, I think that's by is it Little Stitcher? Yeah, it is Little Stitcher. I think that one's super cute too. So that might be something I look at too this year. Not sure. But the owl one is a definite. I really do like that one quite a bit. So I'm thinking, again, either end of November, beginning of December on that one. I'm not sure I could fit that into categories this month. So it might be good to wait till next month and see if it'll work in one of the categories. But really, that's the plans at this point. The other thing I would like to do is start going through all my patterns and formulating a plan for 2024. I'm hoping to do that before the end of this year, and I will do one of my Flossmas videos will be a planning video. I don't necessarily plan how many starts. Like I know a lot of people are doing 24 starts in 2024. I don't do that. I kind of just, plus in the course of the year, what I had, so I have this box and I start putting things by a monthly idea, and then things get added, you know, I mean, like this, I didn't know about this owl ornament at the beginning of or the end of last year. So now all of a sudden it's part of the thing. Very often there's quite a few pieces that get started as we go. So I have kind of a loose interpretation, and I have to say, for the most part, everything I pulled to start this past year, I did start. There might have been one or two, and like this, well, and the Quaker, that wasn't even something in last year's. I didn't have it at that point. So, so you know, that it's a loose interpretation. I try to think about a monthly idea too, like, okay, how many, I don't necessarily have a set number of starts per month. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It's kind of what I'm feeling. It's the fabric choices that sometimes kind of hold me up because I want just it to look just so sometimes. But I have quite a few patterns. This has my, quite a bit of my paper patterns. I have some more, and then I have lots of digital patterns. So I really need to go through, see what I have, see what I want to start, and hopefully I can share that with you sometime next month. So that's the other thing that is on my agenda. I would like to maybe do a few more scrapbook pages. I have an ornament, at least one, maybe some of the Prairie Schoolers as well, that I would really like to fully finish. We'll see if I get time on the craft table for that. I mean, that means pulling out the glue gun and all the other pieces, and so that's a little bit more involved. And I do think, I'm 99% sure that my Celtic Pumpkin is done as is, so I would like to do a finish on that as well. And I am actually thinking of making that a leaner versus a scrapbook page. I have not 100% committed to that, but that is where my thought process is at the moment. So we'll see what happens. All right, so those are the plans. That's about it. I have no happy mail this week. I have no shopping. I know. Not a lick of shopping, not a digital pattern, not any fabric, which, you know, is always surprising. Nothing. I don't even know if I did shopping for anything else this week. I think it was, except for groceries, I think that's the only thing I bought this week. So it was a good week that way. So that's why the rest of this video is going to be pretty quick, because, you know, we have nothing to talk about for that kind of stuff. Alrighty, now this week's giveaway, I did say I was going to do Thankful from Heart and Hand. Super cute. This could be something that is out year round. It doesn't have to be, say, a November kind of thing, you know, with the idea of the month of gratitude or whatever. I think it would be pretty out whenever, if you were to put it out on display, or however you want to do it. You could make it into some sort of hanger, ornament, pillow. It's a cute size for that. Lots of different options depending on what your design style is for showing your stitching. All right, so let me mix up the names a bit more. Oops, I had one and then I dropped it. Let me see. Let me grab one. Don't want to look. And congratulations, MS Beach Girl. You won the little thankful chart. So if you could get back to me with your address, then I will be able to send that out to you. And that's it for that. Because this coming week is a holiday and so on and so forth, I am going to take a break from the giveaways this week. I'm hoping next week to either do a video, potentially Friday, because I'm not sure after Thanksgiving. Well, I know Megan's got to work. Megan's here, but Megan's got to work remotely, so she's actually going to be working. The others may do some shopping. Down here with all the outlets, Black Friday shopping is a disaster. I want no part of it, especially because I live down here, so I can go at any time in December. So depending on how many people are around or not around, I might be able to film on Friday or possibly over the weekend. I know at some point on the weekend, if I can't film on Friday, and you don't see a video from me on Friday, just know that there's a lot of people around, and that I will get a video out on the weekend as much as I can. So, and hopefully then I can figure out what I want to do for a giveaway that video then. So we want to take a break. I want to give myself a chance to kind of reset. I've got those that I have to send out and so on and so forth. So it's a good kind of resetting point for me. Alrighty, that is all of the stitching. 55 minutes. I came in the stitching part under an hour. Woo! That hasn't happened in a while. If that's all you're here for, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Have a fabulous week. If you wanted to stick around for some life stuff, then let's get into it. Yesterday was, I just felt horrendous. I got my booster. You know what booster, I don't even want to talk about it, but you know what booster. I got that on Thursday afternoon. I had a chiropractic appointment on Thursday, and I didn't want to do it beforehand because, you know, I was talking with him, and he said, yeah, I don't have another appointment with him until Tuesday. So he said, maybe this afternoon, and that way that gives you several days before we kind of do work again. So there is a supermarket pharmacy right around the corner from here that from 10 to 2, you can just walk in and get the shot. So that's what I did. I walked in and I got the shot. And as the day went on Thursday afternoon, I was trying to drink a lot because I know, you know, liquids are one of the important things. My arm started to hurt a little bit. Wasn't feeling awful. Now, mind you, Mo had gotten his shot the day before. Not a blasted thing. Not one side effect. His arm didn't hurt. He slept Wednesday night into Thursday. I think he did sleep very heavily, but I don't know if that was just tired from the shot or he just happened to sleep heavily that night. Nothing. Oh, he's such a stinker. I don't know if he's ever had any side effects on these things. So anyway, I wasn't quite so lucky. Was doing all right. My arm was really hurting though when I went to bed on Thursday night. And I'm a side sleeper, and I move. I am not a stay in one spot all night kind of person. I was when I was younger, but now as I'm older, that just doesn't happen. And I can't sleep on my back because I get a headache. I don't know why, but I some reason. So I switched from side to side all night long, and I couldn't do this side. I would turn and it would hurt, and I was trying to find a spot, and then I'd go back to this side, but after a while, laying in the same position, that bothers my back. It was just a disaster. So I didn't sleep well to start with. But I woke up yesterday morning, I ironed all of my stuff. I was like, all right, you know, once I get going, I'll be fine. As the little bit of the morning started to go on, I got a fever. I was exhausted. I had a headache, the whole bit. I had everything. The arm really started to hurt even more, so I wasn't sure. You can see I'm feeling better today because there's no way I was able to actually lift my arm up yesterday. It would have really hurt. Oh, I was wondering what that was. It's the color. I was like, is there some sort of something on my sweater? So it still hurts, but I'm able to actually move it. It just hurts a teeny bit. So I was able to, I thought I was going to kind of deal with it on my own, but about 12:30, I said, I'm going to take some ibuprofen. And that really did help, I have to say. And I drank and drank and drank. I have a tendency to dehydrate myself if I'm not careful. I just don't drink enough. So I, on a regular basis, keep track just because I need to make sure that I'm not drinking so tiny, because I've been in that point where I've extreme dehydration. I think I had 99 ounces of liquid yesterday, but darned if I needed it. I don't think it affected. Sometimes when I drink that much, I'm like sick to my stomach and this and that. No, I needed it yesterday. And so I've started this morning. I've got my tea. I have already had water. You know, I'm still with it. But after taking that at lunchtime after taking the ibuprofen, I still had a slight fever through the day, but not very much. And I just felt like, you know what, I could just do better if I waited till today. And that's what I did. I just took it kind of easy. We had some, preparing and stuff for company to do, and bless Mo, he put it upon himself, knowing that I didn't feel good, to do quite a bit of it. He took on a lot of the extra work yesterday, so I was very grateful for that. And then this weekend, now that I'm feeling better, I figure I can get some more, the last minute stuff, and I have to hit the grocery store. I'm kind of dreading that, and all of that kind of stuff this weekend. So I'm thinking by tomorrow I'll be completely right as rain and ready to just tackle everything I need to tackle. So that was my drama yesterday. I should have known the last year when I had gotten the booster, I didn't feel great. I just had high hopes that maybe this time around, especially when I see Mo not getting a darn thing, I was like, okay, that can be me this year, and then not so much. So, but anyway, this week, I'm trying to think if there was much that went on this week besides. It was not as busy a week. Last week was very, very busy. The week, not this one, but the week before. I had lots of different appointments. You just have, different yearly stuff and different appointments and this, that, and the other. And so this week was kind of nice. I did have the chiropractor, and I did go to, I wasn't able to go to the whole thing, but I did do the stitching group here in my neighborhood. I was able to hit an hour of it. So that was nice to kind of chat with people. Usually we're there on Thursdays. So next week, obviously with Thanksgiving, we won't meet. So it was just nice to get a chance. And not everybody's cross stitches, which is kind of cool. Some people knit or crochet, or people have latch hooked, all sorts of things, which is kind of neat. There are a couple of us that cross stitch, but it ebbs and flows who can make it on any given week. So, but it was fun to do that and just get out for a little bit with my stitching. It was beautiful this week. It's going to turn cold. The wind is I don't know if you can tell, it's gotten darker as we've been here. The clouds have completely kind of filled out the sky, and the wind has definitely picked up. So I have a coupon from Michael's. I think one expired, which I'm really bummed about. I had two $5 coupons, and one said through the 18th, which I think is today, but it's no longer showing as active. So I don't want to miss the other one. And I always have floss that I can buy from Michael's. And I want to say they have a 30% coupon going on right now. So I could even get the DMC a little cheaper. So I think maybe there is a trip to Michael's in my future. We put up everything, and that was the other thing this week. I was busy. I wanted to get all of the trees and everything up before everybody came. Next weekend is it next weekend? No, the weekend afterwards is Jingle Ball. And next weekend, I don't know when people are leaving and this and that. So I just thought I wanted before Thanksgiving to have the trees up. We really enjoy Thanksgiving. I've always said more than one thing can be true. I can really enjoy Thanksgiving and still have my Christmas decorations up. So that is what happened. I have a larger tree downstairs that has all of our kind of family ornaments. And then I bought last year 2 little tiny pencil trees for each of the guest bedrooms. Mo has kind of put his foot down on our bedroom. I had to bring the lemon tree in, so that's kind of where I would have put a pencil tree, so I guess I don't have space. And then I have a smaller tree, maybe a 5-foot tree here, and that has all of my handcrafted ornaments that I've either made or I've received as gifts. I have that, and then I have one of those Hirschner trees, the metal trees. And so the smaller ornaments that I've either stitched, made, or have received go on that, and then some of the larger ones go on the regular. And there's still plenty of space on the bigger one, so I have lots of room to keep adding stuff as we go. So that took up quite a bit of my week. I for years and years and years did a Christmas village, and in the last couple of houses I had a spot where I could put it all kind of out. I don't have that here necessarily. So what I did last year, and I think I talked about this, is I divided it up between the 4 trees, and I put little parts of the village at the bottom. We don't have Shamrock at this point, so there's no dog kind of sniffling. Generally with my kids and presents, I don't need to, well, it's not like we would be buying a ton of stuff that would take up the bottom of the tree anyway. And I could just put it in front of the fireplace anyway. So I kind of like now I've rimmed kind of the front and the sides of all of the trees with some different parts of the Christmas village, and I was able to put all of it out. But that meant a lot of up and down this week, and Mo got so frustrated with me. He's like, I will do it for you, because it was really bothering my back because I was up and down, up and down. But part of me was just being stubborn, because I was kind of like, he's going to put it and I'm going to want to change it, because that's just me being stubborn. You know, I mean, here he is offering to help, and I was just, you know, getting in my own way. So I ended up doing it myself, type of thing. And he just, I think he gave up at the end because I was just going to do it and then, you know, moan about my back afterwards. So, but it's done. It's all set, and I don't take the trees down until sometime in January. So that's good. I'll be able to enjoy it for a while. But that took up quite a bit of this week too, because I did it very much piecemeal. I would do a little bit each and every day. So now it's all completely done, and I do not have to worry about it anymore. And I don't have to worry about in December. The only thing we didn't do was decorate outside. But that, I don't do much out there. Put a wreath, put some lights, maybe the window box, do something or other, and that's it. But we have our mums are doing really good with the pumpkins and the gourds and stuff in the window box. So I'm going to keep that for a little while longer. So I'm had that pressure of decorating done, complete, boom. I can enjoy Thanksgiving and then sail into December without worrying about that kind of stuff. So that probably was my biggest part this week of what I did. And that's about it. This point now, it's just prep for the holiday and company and everything else. I know I owe some responses from emails, and I have seen them. Between just being busy and not feeling great and everything else, I haven't responded. You know, whether it's, I'm pretty good. I think I'm caught up on my DMs from Instagram, but I think my Gmails, I do owe responses. But everything is always read. I just don't always get to the response. Oh, and that reminds me, it's probably too late now. Most of you are gone, but I don't have my laptop currently with me. So the description box will be, and I'll probably put a note in the box, it will be limited until early next week when I have the laptop again. I'll be able to upload the video and everything with my iPad, but it's kind of a pain doing all of the cutting and pasting with the iPad. So I might just wait, and I'll just put a note. So if there's something you really wanted to know about before I can do that at the beginning of the week, you know, certainly you can Instagram me. You can send me a message, you know, send me a email or whatever kind of thing. And even on Facebook, you can Facebook message me if you're, say, for example, in my group or whatever. But I don't always, Facebook's kind of weird, and I don't always see them right away. So, you know, if that's the case, I apologize. It's not that I wasn't answering you there. I just sometimes really don't see them, but I'll do my best. But yeah, so, you know, if there's something you absolutely need to know about right now and I didn't give all the information properly because I'm waiting on the box, then, you know, reach out kind of thing. But if you wait a few days, hopefully then I will be able to get that all done. So that's about it. Yeah, I'd say, you know, now I'm getting myself ready to ease into December, and it's getting colder, so I am inside, which means there's a lot more kind of crafty stuff I'd like to maybe do, and we got to get ready for Flossmas. I do not do every single day of December like some people do. I pick maybe 5 or 6 topics, depending on how many I have, maybe more, maybe less, and I do some extra videos along with my regular Friday videos. So that's the way it usually goes right there. And if I do have some days I might miss because of travel, I'll let you know ahead of time. Alrighty, so that's about it. If you are still here, thank you so much for being here. If you are in the U.S. and you celebrate Thanksgiving, thank you so much for, enjoy it. I hope you have, you know, just a wonderful, lovely time. And if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving and you're somewhere else, I hope you have a wonderful, fabulous week. And I will get a chance to see you hopefully next time. Take care of yourself. Remember, you matter. Do something just for you. And until next time, happy stitching.